Hi, friends. How you doing? It's Rashida coming to you from Mauritius. If you're watching this for the first time, you haven't been to my channel before, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am giving you an update on the 4 Southern African countries I've been to in the past 4 weeks, and telling you the things I'm glad I knew before going there, or things I wish I knew before going there, and all of the above. So hang out. Let's have a good time. Let me make sure I'm using the right microphone real quick because I did not check that. Audio. Let's do this. Hopefully the sound's a little tiny. Nope. Work with me. 1 second, y'all. Why isn't this microphoning? While I do that, welcome, welcome, welcome to all the people who are watching this on the replay. Hi, friends. To anyone who's watching this on my regular viewers, hey, 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 hey. All right, I should be able to make this work now. This is what happens when I do things at the last minute. All right, now we should be on the good mic. The good mic. The good mic. Okay. I'm wearing the good mic. I'm wearing it today, which means that if I get up to walk away from here, you have to remind me to take the microphone off. Remember what happened last time that didn't happen? Gotta remind me. Okay. I'm coming to you from Mauritius. It's raining outside. I just opened the door. It's like 100% humidity. I'm actually going to look it up. Good morning to all the members of my membership who are here. Some of us just talked over on Zoom because the membership goes, the Zoom call, I would say once a week, but it was our first time doing it in a month. So forgive me. But yeah, in the past 4 weeks, I've been in 5 countries. I can count. South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Botswana, and now I'm in Mauritius. So 5 countries in the past month, a little less than a month, because I got to South Africa the first time on this trip on February 7th, and it is March 2nd, yes, March 3rd, and I've been to 5 different African countries in that month, less than a month, and 4 of them are new to me. I'd never been to Zimbabwe, Zambia, Botswana, or Mauritius before. So yay, I'm here. I'm excited. I'll tell you what this humidity is because it is insane outside. 92%. I opened the door. I was like, maybe I can do this from outside. I opened the door. It was like a wall. It's raining right now. It was like a wall of water just hitting my face. Just a wall of water. Woo. So I want to talk to you about the countries. I want to answer any questions you have. I'll tell you what I've experienced here, what was good, what was great, what was meh. Nothing's been really bad. Also, for anything I've recorded everything I've done. So there may be at some point a vlog that covers what I've done here. But also, y'all know me in editing, maybe not. We may also have a guest appearance tonight in about 30 minutes. Maybe. I don't know. You know how guests are. You never know. So hey to everyone. Let's get through it. Okay, so let's start off. I don't want to start off with South Africa. I want to start off with Zimbabwe because when I was trying to figure out what to do, I told you guys this a couple weeks ago, but when I was in Vietnam, in Dalat. Okay, I think that's how you pronounce that. When I was trying to figure out where to go in Africa, because I wanted to go from South Africa to some other places. And I hired Michelle from the Travel Africa movement to help put not an itinerary together, but give me some ideas. So I talked to her on the phone with my mom, and we talked about things we wanted to do and things we didn't want to do. She was like, are y'all looking for adventure travel? Are you looking to chill? Basically giving her categories of things we wanted to do. And she helped, she gave us a document, one that covered Zimbabwe, Victoria Falls, because we told her we were interested in that. And then one for the garden route in South Africa, which is the first thing we did, but I'll get back to that in the South Africa conversation. Hey, Helen, first time here. Hi. Okay, so we went to Zimbabwe to go to Victoria Falls, which I'm not a religious person. Like, I believe in God, like, theoretically. Y'all, one of y'all is gonna call me something. If this is your first time on the channel, you don't need to say anything. It's fine. You can just stop watching if it's offended you. But anyhow, I believe in, like, I'm one of those people that believes in, like, all gods. Like, I can't tell someone your God isn't real because that doesn't make sense to me. Who am I to say which God is real and which? So, like, you know, I'm not monotheistic. Everybody's God is fine with me. Cool. Which I think also kind of means that, like, it's a little close to, like, no God. I don't know. Anyhow, my point was, I don't think about God a lot. In Victoria Falls, I was like, oh, he put his foot in this. She put her big sandal down right here and made this magic. Like, this is now, Victoria Falls was made by the Zambezi River cutting through stone over billions of trillions of years, right? So, like, you know, it wasn't there from the beginning of time. It was made over time. But still, like, there's something about it that is just so beautiful that it feels like this, somebody did this. We got there, and because there's always, like, water flowing, like, out on the Zimbabwe side, the water rushes down on the Zambia side. But on the Zimbabwe side, you can look across the border, which is the river, and see over to the Zambia side. So you get the prettier view from the Zimbabwe side. And from the Zimbabwe side, looking over at the Zambia side, even though the water is falling way away from you, you're still getting wet. In some parts, like, soaking wet, all your clothes are wet. See if I can find you a video that I can play. It was just so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And so I think that was part of, like, probably my best experience there was going to Victoria Falls. So we went there, the first day we went there, sorry, my phone, receiving the video from my, anyway. We went there from the first, we got to Victoria Falls one day. We flew into the Victoria Falls Airport, which is in Zimbabwe. This is gonna be a better video. Oh, sorry, I'm all over the place, but y'all got to give me some slack, please. Got to the Zimbabwe side. That's where Victoria Falls Airport. And when I got there, we'd been in South Africa for a while. And one day, one of our days for our Exodus Summit event, which is what we were doing in South Africa, it was hot. It was 90-something degrees. We got to Zimbabwe, and I was like, this is a different hot. I stepped off that plane, and I was like, y'all know me. I don't like that. It was 100 degrees. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? What's happening? So it was ridiculously hot. Didn't like it, not one bit. And then Zimbabwe side, got to our hotel. We stayed at the Victoria Falls Hotel, which is well known because it's the first hotel in the region. It's like a historic site. No. Mama said, no, don't do that. Super expensive. Not worth it. No. Service, lovely. Food, good. Food, reasonable priced. The hotel rooms, no, don't do that. If you're ever going to Victoria Falls, don't stay at the Victoria Falls Hotel. It wasn't doing it. Not at all. Oh, Simi went to the falls 3 times. I couldn't get enough. Yeah, no, when I went the first time on the Zimbabwe side, I was like, I could go back. Now, let me tell you, when I got to the gate of Victoria Falls, I was like, are y'all playing with me? On the Zimbabwe side, the entrance was $50 US, $50 for one adult to get in. I was like, is Mickey about to carry me on, like, a tram or his back through here? What am I paying for a park? I'm paying $50 to get into a park. But then, like I said, I went in and I saw what God had been doing, and I was like, okay, it's fine. The same day, I was like, I would go back. I'd go back. I'd pay for this again. It doesn't seem like I'm sure one of you is like, $50 is a lot for a park. And when I got to the gate and I saw the price, because I didn't know how much it cost. When I got to the gate and I saw the price, I was like, is y'all playing? Is y'all playing with this? I think it was like $25 for a child. $50, but worth it. Let me see if I can get this video to play. Boom, 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 boom. Video file. Oh, there's a video file option right here. I'm gonna show you the falls. Wait, no. Here, what's happening? How it goes from like the land. Look at this. Because there's so much water from the mist. From the mist, there's all that water. Look at that. And then there's water falling on me, so I gotta protect the camera. There's a pool down there. Okay, so that's the waterfall. That's one perspective from the waterfall. Oh, yeah. I don't know how to explain how magnificent it is in person. Just, it's stunning. Aileen says it's more than a theme park. Yeah, the price was more than, I was like, $50 to see a waterfall? What y'all doing? Okay, so gorgeous, glad we went. Zimbabwe side, it was 100 degrees that day. In the when you're on the Zimbabwe side, there's so much water coming down, like misting down on you. Like I said, it's across, the waterfall is in a different country, but it's so powerful that it's hitting you all over. So it did not, and you're under a tree canopy, so it did not feel like 100 degrees. It probably felt like 82, maybe even a little cooler. So I'm glad we went on a warm day instead of a cold day. If we were there on a cold day, we probably would have been cold. That was lovely. Like I said, a couple of those, they have 16 different lookout points. Remember I said there's a pool down below? I showed the pool. That's where apparently the whitewater rafting starts. But I think those rapids are like class 5. The rapids were class, I'm not gonna do that. In one of the brochures I saw, or a website, the only picture they had of whitewater rafting was a boat, except the raft was like this, and there were bodies falling, humans, alive humans. I shouldn't say bodies, that you might get a bad impression. There were people falling out of the raft. If the ad for your whitewater rafting has people falling out the boat, I'll cross that off the list. No, thank you. So yeah, it's a vigorous whitewater rafting that you can do there. There's also bungee jumping there from the bridge, which you can see at spot 16. It's just really, really gorgeous. So we tried to go that same day to Zambia. We went to Zambia that same day because we got to the fall around 8 a.m. It opens, I think they said at 6. We got there at 8, thinking it would still be early. There would be a lot of people there. There were a lot of people there in the afternoon. We left, I think, at 11:30. We got to Zambia around noon. It was 100 degrees. So we crossed the border. Border crossings between Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Botswana were very, very easy when you had a visa. You buy in the airport as an American. If you bring $50 in cash, $50 in US dollars in cash, you can buy a multiple entry visa. So for 30 days, I could go across those 3 borders, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Botswana, as many times as I wanted. This is important. The other important thing to know is that Zimbabwe uses US dollars. They'll use other currency as well. Like I could use the rand that I had from South Africa, but the Zimbabwe, if you go to the ATM, you're about to get US dollars. They do not use the Zimbabwean dollar at all. So coming from, they're not going to take pesos though. So I had to, if I didn't have money in South Africa and I didn't have access to an ATM, I would have been in trouble. Because like, if the ATM didn't give you US dollars, I would have been in trouble. But it does because that's all they want. So, try to cross into Zambia. We crossed into Zambia. Leaving the border. This is what I'm talking about. Leaving the border. You leave one country. You know how like when you're leaving the US, you don't actually have to go through in some countries, you have to actually go through a customs booth to leave. Like when I was leaving South Africa right now, I had to go leave through immigration in South Africa. In all three of those countries, when I was entering or leaving from one of those other three countries, I had to go to an office where you leave the country you're in, walk across a bridge or a block or whatever it is, in the woods, in the heat, whatever, and then go to an entrance to the other country. So it's like, leave one country here, walk a bit, and then enter another country here. I don't know what's going on in the middle. I did not ask that question. It's not my business. And then like you do something to enter a country here. So we had to go through 2 immigration spots every time. So point is, we left Zimbabwe, crossed into Zambia. It was 100 degrees and it was noon. And the lady was like, yeah, we can do this thing right now, because we were going to talk about going to the falls on the Zambia side where you can actually like get in the falls. But neither one of us had bathing suits, and we were like, we could just go. Don't go in your clothes. We're going to talk about that later. Because the lady was like, yeah, you can go in your clothes. Don't do that. And so we immediately crossed back. It was so hot. I was like, I can't. And she was hungry. I was hot. I was like, I can't traipse around the country in this 100 degrees at noon. I gotta lay it down. So we crossed. We talked to the woman over at the entrance desk at the Zambia side of Victoria Falls, and then immediately crossed back into Zimbabwe. And our hotel was walking distance from the Zimbabwe side entrance, but we took a taxi back, and the taxi driver was like, it is hot. And I was like, it is. But I was like, is it always this hot? And he was like, climate change. And I was like, okay, see, people in the global south are going to tell you. They're going to tell you. Y'all are really screwed. Everyone, we're all collectively, but mostly the companies, mostly the large companies, screwing up the universe. He was like, it's climate change. It's not supposed to be this hot. So hotter than it's supposed to be in Zimbabwe. We did that one day. I think it was the next day. I've lost track of days. I think it was the next day that we went to, I don't know what we did in the morning, but we did the helicopter ride. No, we did the Zambia side the next morning. The Zambia side of the falls, went to the Angel Falls. If you saw photos of me hanging off the edge of the falls, that is there's Angel's Pool and Devil's Pool. And Angel's Pool is like, they described it as like sitting in a hot tub. Did that look like sitting in a hot tub to you? It was not like sitting in a hot, it was not like sitting in a hot tub. Devil's Pool is how you have to like hold it. They say you have to swim to it, but like you hold a rope and then I think you swim. But the reason we didn't go to Devil's Pool was the water level was so high, you would just fall over the edge. And that's not my thing. I don't want to fall over the edge. So Devil's Pool is closed because you'll die. And then Angel's Pool, they took us to. We got there on a speedboat. I think, as far as I can tell, there's only one company that really takes you there. I'll drop the name of it in the vlog because I'm going to mess it up now. It's Green something. So if you can book directly with them, you might save yourself $1 or $2. I don't know. I'll drop it in the vlog when I do that. Took a speedboat there, really nice. They said it was a 5 to 8 minute ride. It was a 3-minute ride. It's like 8 minutes in a speedboat. It's 3 minutes in a speedboat. We got there. We walked a little bit, and then they were like, now you take off all your clothes here and walk in your bathing suit and like sandals, like water shoes. I didn't have water shoes, so I walked through the mud where they pointed out like hippo shoe. Was it hippos? I think it was hippo. It was hippo shoe. They pointed out. barefoot. So if I fall ill from some like Southern African virus that you haven't heard of in 47 years, it's because I walked barefoot through sludgy mud, because everything is wet, to get to Angel's Pool, which was described to us as like sitting in a hot tub. It was, okay, so the photo y'all see, I'm gonna tell y'all, the photo y'all see where I'm like laid out and I'm on the edge, there's somebody holding my ankles. Because if there wasn't somebody holding my ankles, I would once again fall over the water. Like you'd be like, I heard about that one girl who climbed to the edge. I think there are times where it's okay, but it's rainier than usual, rainier than other parts of the year. And I think this is their wet season, their rainy season. So the water level's too high just to like sit there. It's not just a pool where you sit, like as they described. They showed a photo of all these white women just sitting around and like hugging and like sitting there. Meanwhile, I was fighting for my life. A lot of the photos, the water is misting so hard that I can't keep my eyes open. So I'm doing this. But Angel's Pool is just, I did not know this at the time, so I'm telling y'all, Angel's Pool is just a photo experience. We walked over. The man was like, all you can take, we had a lockbox to lock all your stuff here. The only thing you can take with you is your phone or a camera. He had a wet bag, like they keep on boats. It's, they seal it up, whatever. So they put all our stuff in a wet bag, carried it with him. We followed him through the hippo chud and forest, walked over, and they very directly tell you where to go. And then in line, you sit there in the water. There are fish in the water who will bite your feet. No one told me. Pause. Y'all know how I feel about animals. I like y'all from a distance. Be over there. We got in the water and the man said, oh, there are fish in here. Okay. All right. It's the fish's water. Who am I? And then them fish said, wait a minute now. And like biting legs, toes, anything that was in water, the fish were biting. And so me and my mom were like, okay, all right. There were two men with us who started giggling. One started giggling, the other started screaming. Like the most drama I've seen in a long time. And I was like, it's a very creepy feeling because there's something underwater you can't see nibbling at you, but you ain't got to scream. Like, bring it from a 10 to a 2. Please. We were at a 2. Like, okay, it's uncomfortable because I was the first person who got bit. So I was like, you said they're fish, but do they bite? And he ignored us because the man was doing something else. Anyhow, they're fish in the water. There are two guys. One will take your photo. One goes through and grabs your phone. Whoever's first grabs your phone. The other one holds your ankles. You take a photo, and then it's next person's turn, next person's turn, next person's turn, and then you leave and go to lunch. Lunch really feels like they just needed to add some stuff because you're not there long enough to eat, right? Like, it's maybe an hour experience without the food. It's an hour and a half total, and I think the food was like 30 minutes. I think they're just trying to stretch out the time. It's true. I did not know this when I signed up for it, but it's nice to be in the falls, but the way they lead the experience, they lead it like you're just there for photos. Take a photo and then you go sit somewhere. Okay, so one of the fish bit me and I dragged my foot up real quick and the fish was still attached to my foot. And it's like this long and brown. And it was like hanging from my toe because he was still trying to get my toe meat. What's this? What are we doing? What's happening? Why? So it was just very, very, yes, I figured it was like the petty fish, but I don't know because the man didn't say these fish might, give you a little love tap. He just said they're fish in the water. These fish are biting. What are you talking about? All right. We might have a special guest. I don't know. It will be. Okay. All right. Okay. So, biting fish, Angel's Pool, beautiful, but it's like, I want to say it was like $200 a person, maybe less, maybe a little less, maybe $150. I don't remember exactly. The pedicure fish are tiny. These are not tiny. They were literally like The one that came up out the water who was attached to my toe was this big, dark brown. This long and maybe this wide. A fish like that. Called Wanda. No, I don't know what. It was not tiny fish. Okay, wait. My entire chat is going up for somebody else. Y'all know how I feel. Like, what? What's happening? I'm gonna let y'all live. It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna breathe through this moment. Okay, so Angel's Pool it was really amazing to be in the falls. You get a better view from the Zimbabwe side, but over on we didn't do the regular entrance on the Zambia side is $20 if you don't do the Angel's Pool experience. I don't know what the what am I trying to say? I don't know what the view is like. I heard the view is not as good on the Zambia side because the water is rushing down on the Zambia side. So on the other side, you're probably just seeing like the tree canopy. But it's $20 versus $50 on the Zimbabwe side. But like I said, on the Zimbabwe side, it's magic. It's magic. Someone asked for a photo. Let me see if I can give you all one real quick where I'm being dramatic. But yeah, I got a lot of y'all messaging me like, you're giving me anxiety with the thingy. And I'm like, now you know I was not gonna be hanging off the side of a cliff. Can I do this? No. Without some kind of security. Yes, there's a man holding my ankles. Like I said, this is strictly, like I did not know this when I went, but it's strictly for the photos. Strictly for the photos. All right, I know I've shared photos in here before easily, but I don't know why it's playing with me now. Let me see if I can do this. I'll share this one photo, and then I think we'll take a break for our guests. It's raining so hard right now, but you can just hear it gushing down. What am I doing? Present, share screen. Nope. Window. Boom, here we go. Ta-da! So yes, I am there. That is the edge of the cliff, but a man is holding my ankles, and he held some. Okay, so I went second. So I knew that he could do it. I have seen him hold someone else's ankles. I know that he can do it, but I'm not there. I knew he wasn't tired. He hadn't been holding ankles all day. It was 8 a.m. We were the first people of the day. I was the second person he had to hold. I felt good. I felt confident about it. Now, I will tell you this. My mom was with me, and she was like, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. And then at the end, she was like, I'm going to do it. Brave, a brave soul, a beautiful, brave soul. Also, she was like, I saw him do it to so many people. I knew I'd be fine. You would be. You would be. But the water is like, it's like standing outside in like not like a heavy rain, but like a little mid-rain and trying to like pose. Every once in a while you get a break and you can open your eyes. And other than that, it was like, hold on. Everything gets wet. It's kind of a mess. Do not go to Victoria Falls on either side with hair that you do not want to get wet. Because it's not. Even on the streets of Victoria Falls, like in cars, the windshield would get wet because there's so much, like the water is in the air everywhere. Like in town, the windshield of a car is wet. Not even at the falls. I mean, at the actual fall. Okay, so I'm gonna take a break now from Zimbabwe. Remind me to get back to Zimbabwe because we're going to talk to our guest about South Africa, and specifically in South Africa about what the Exodus Summit Meetup 2023 was like. Some of you guys were here. I see Abba in the comments. I see Kelly in the comments. You guys were here. And so we're going to talk about South Africa, Cape Town 2023. I would love to welcome my guest. Some of you may know her. Some of you may recognize her. Some of y'all got very excited about her before I said you could. And I don't understand why that would happen. Y'all know the rules. Y'all know the rules. So my guest is coming. Zimbabwe, yes, don't forget. Oh, Cicely's here. Cicely said Cape Town was amazing. Let me move my thing over and get ready for my special guest.
Hi. Oh, you look so cute. I like your earrings.
Thank you. Would you mind pinning this to yourself? Thank you. Thank you. 2023. If I said 2024, it's because I don't know what year or date it is. Hi, friends.
Hi.
Hi, friends. Okay, I'm gonna move this over so I don't get in the way. Then we're gonna move the camera over. Okay, Cape Town.
Yes.
Tell us your experience in Cape Town with Exodus Summit in 2020. This is 3? This is 24.
2024. It is 2024.
I don't know.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. Tell us, what was your experience like?
We got together with almost 100 Black women in Cape Town, and it was amazing. It was like being at a family reunion. Cape Town is a whole different place. Cape Town is like no other place. But the experience, the family reunionness of it was awesome. Awesome.
I think this was our best Exodus Summit meetup yet.
Oh, do you?
I do.
Why?
I feel like the girls got it this year.
Okay.
They got it. They got that, like, they meet up and they do things with other people.
Yes.
And they have a good time.
Yes.
And we're not hand-holding.
Yes.
And things are great.
Things were great.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gang did it. They did it. They did what they came to do. They saw what they came to see. They bought what they came to buy.
They still in the streets.
Still out
still
here.
In the streets. Still having a good time. I think in the previous years, people thought it was some people thought it was going to be more like a trip type experience where we do everything together. And this year, our messaging worked. And the women were like, I don't really care what you're doing.
Yeah.
Me and the girls, we're going to go do this.
Yeah.
There were so many things they didn't tell us about. But okay, so the things that are really fun to do in South Africa, we went and we made jewelry. I didn't make all of these. I bought these.
But you
from
could
the person.
have.
Yes, it could have. But we went to a jewelry maker one day, and someone in the group organized that and posted it in the whole group, in the Facebook group that we have for that trip. We went before the meetup. We went on a wine tram.
Yes, A+ experience. A+.
A+ experience for the parts I remember. And I have a good memory, but there are things if I'm ever called on the stand, I'm gonna say I don't know. I do not recall. I don't recall. Do not recall. But it was really fun. We made non-Exodus friends. We ran into Exodus people in a winery.
Yeah.
Black women everywhere around the world. You will run in. I have run into I know we're in Southern Africa, so like it kind of makes sense. But I've run into Black women from this meetup and not from this meetup.
Yeah.
Who are in Exodus Summit in like 3 or 4 different places.
Yeah.
3 or 4 different countries.
Yeah.
What is life? What is this? It's amazing. The wine tour was amazing. Hey, Keisha.
That's Keisha, Honest Chocolate Keisha. Keisha, I think that's you, Keisha,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Keisha, the ambassador for Honest Chocolate.
She found a chocolate shop.
She fell in love with this chocolate shop.
And then she told us about it, which is what you need to do. When you love something, tell people. It was good.
It was fantastic.
So, and then the things we did as a meetup together, we did a meet and greet on a Saturday night.
Party.
It was
rooftop party, but everybody stayed indoors because it was windy.
It was windy.
We had a beautiful view, but it was windy.
But it was gorgeous. Everyone was there. Everybody said hi. No, I'm so sorry. Why is Rick in my comments when he was in the same country I was in and ain't try to say hi?
I don't know why he would do that.
Rick?
He would I don't think he would. I don't think he would be in the same town that you were in and not
actively make an effort.
I don't think he would.
So when a poster called Our Black Utopia posts and says, it's Rick, it must be a different Rick?
No, this is the real Rick. In Cape Town, that couldn't have been the real Rick.
Okay.
Because the real Rick would have, hung out with us.
Or the real Lamar. That couldn't have been him either.
No.
Because when we say no men, we mean at the formal events. But you better run up on me when you're in my town.
Yeah.
Mm.
That it was an imposter.
Mm-hmm.
Because the real Rick would never have told your mom to, was it Rick who said told your mom
Yes.
to come and find him?
Yes, but not me.
I don't think he would have done that.
Now I'm gonna be in Lisbon in a few weeks, and Rick gonna see what it feels like. Rick gonna see what it feels like. He knows I'm petty. But yeah, no, Cape Town was magnificent. Okay, so we did a meet and greet the first day, party, hors d'oeuvres, too much food, loved it, great. We had the vegetarian food. I have a vegan food this year, which we did not master last year until the middle of the party. So that was an improvement.
That's right. We did good.
And then on Monday, we had scheduled a botanical garden day and a trip to a winery. Now, we had beautiful, beautiful, beautiful days, beautiful days. The day we were planning to go to the botanical garden was the hottest day of 2024. Just the hottest day.
It's hot. It was over 100 degrees.
And the botanical garden is, of course, open. There's some parts with shade, but it's mostly just like walking through beautiful openness. Beautiful.
Most of us quit. You probably saw more of the botanical gardens than anybody. The rest of us quit and sat down at the little restaurant and had cold drinks and popsicles. But it was beautiful. We were there long enough to get some good pictures. I've seen some good pictures floating around Instagram.
It was a very beautiful day.
Yeah.
Very glad we did it.
Yeah.
And then after that, we went to the winery.
Yes.
I also don't know what happened at that winery. I don't recall.
We got amazing service and like attention, I feel like, at the winery. We took over a part of Lanzerac.
Yes.
And it was beautiful and wonderful. It was an experience. It was a great, great day.
Yes. And we had a black female sommelier. It's like they knew. They said yes. I don't know if that's their full time, if she's the only one that works there, but that's who we had. And loved it. Black female sommelier, come talk to me about wine, sister.
Yes.
Come talk to me about wine. Everything was really lovely. Okay, I will say that one of the not so great things about being in South Africa, being in Cape Town specifically, is that it's hard to be in Africa. It's a struggle for me mentally to be in Africa and be in a place where like generally Black people you don't see them having any power. Any power, any prestige, any ownership, right?
Ownership.
It's very much a white-run country, a white-owned, more than anything, a white-owned country. And so seeing Black people, even in like roles where it is labor, right? But like important labor roles, like the sommelier, was really, really nice.
Yeah.
Right? If there are because we looked for a Black winery. We visited one Black winery on the wine tour. It was not our favorite. So it was hard for us to find Black winery. We could not find a Black winery to work with for our wine day. And then when we did end up going to one on our wine tour, it wouldn't have worked. We knew it wouldn't have worked for the day that we had planned.
Yeah. I think the place we ended up was beautiful. Was perfect. They overperformed.
Yes.
Right. They did more than we thought they were going to do.
And they were very giving. Yeah. Right. At one point, I hadn't eaten anything. The hors d'oeuvres were being passed around, and they're like, "We're almost out of hors d'oeuvres," and I was like, "I don't have any." And the lady was like, "Hold on," and she went to the back and got me that pork belly. Oh,
that was delicious. That was one of the best things in the place.
And why was it there?
Because I'm gonna take the credit, because I said we have to have the pork belly, because I think you were willing to sacrifice it. Remember how you were like, "There's too much meat. There's too much meat."
I was willing to. I
get the credit. I get the credit for it.
I think one of the hardest things Stephanie and I did this year, because shout out to Frances for taking over all the hard things.
Yeah.
We were like, we won't be doing this.
Yeah.
But she gave us things to do, like pick the menu. And so one of the hardest things, we were like, how do we pick the menu that works? So there were things we wanted. And listen, if pork belly or short ribs are on the menu, I'm gonna pick them. Yes. Please and thank you. Pork belly was on the menu. We selected it, but I was like, it's too much meat, so we don't have to do it. But Stephanie's right. It's all her. It's all, I was just there. on the phone when it happened.
It might have been the oxtails. There was one that you were willing to sacrifice. And I was like, no, we eat it all.
I would sacrifice oxtail before I sacrifice.
We eat the meat.
Pork belly.
Yeah.
That oxtail ball with the cheese.
Yeah.
The kitchen was doing something.
Yes.
Doing something. It was good.
We had an awesome
time. Okay. The winery was exceptional. Okay. Service impeccable. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that this may have been our best meetup because of the better service that we got pretty much everywhere, except for Mexico. Well, I guess maybe this has been the best since Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you think it was the best because of the way that everyone did their thing together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody grouped up and ungrouped and regrouped and ungrouped and regrouped over and over again, right? I think it might have been the best because we got some of the best service between the hotel and the places that we went.
Yes.
We got great service compared to like Morocco or Mexico was I think we got good service in Mexico, but in Mexico, not a lot of us stayed in the JW. We stayed in the hotel, but we didn't have as many people in the hotel to get that good service as we did this time. Because this time it felt like another hotel takeover.
It did. It felt like a hotel takeover.
We ran that hotel.
And I probably told you guys in advance, at least I did in the Facebook group for the trip, that I was skeptical about the hotel because on the back end, whoever's running their stuff on the back end was not great.
No.
There were some issues. On the front end, the people were like, how can I help you? Literally, like I left, I'd come in one day and we'd driven in and I was exhausted because I was driving through Cape Town. Don't do that if you don't have to. Anyhow, it's not terrible, but other side of the road is a lot. People will just walk in front of the car. I showed up and I had to immediately leave to go do something. And I was walking because it was like 3 blocks away. I said something to the guy at the door. He was like, okay, yeah. I asked him for directions. Like, yeah, you just go down here, it's on that side, walk, it's that building, whatever. And he said, okay. I said, if I'm not back in like 2 hours, like send out a team to look for me, joking around. And he was like, here's my card with my WhatsApp number. If anything goes, like if you need anything, just message me. And I was like, I was ready to tell y'all ain't shit, you're nothing, your staff is trash, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, everybody who I contacted was amazing. We stayed at the Hyatt Regency in Cape Town. And even though I was skeptical at first, loved it.
Yeah, they really loved us. They loved us. They really liked seeing us there and like getting to know the women in the group. Shout out to Felix, right? Women, they really, really loved having us there and taking good care of us and making sure that we enjoyed ourselves.
It was one place where it felt like, it was definitely one place where they were like, Black American women, we want you here, right? Not every place felt like that. No. But that definitely felt like, not like a welcome home, but like a hey cousin kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So that was really nice.
Because when you host events for Black women, you want us to be treated extra special,
or even just average. Listen.
But it's not. There's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee you're even gonna get average. Like Morocco, it might not even get average treatment, right? And so being here and having the hotel be like, okay, we care about you, and having all our vendors be really exceptional. Like the bus people, surprise, surprise. Yeah. The bus needed a deposit like a month in advance, but paying people, if you ever do business in South Africa, it's incredibly difficult to pay people because your bank thinks you're someone's scamming you every time you try to send money. And so all wires canceled. They don't use PayPal. It's terribly difficult. So the bus, we hadn't paid them until like 3 p.m.
After they took us.
The same day. They've been driving us around from like 8 a.m. to like 3 p.m. with the guy. Now, I had to call the man or message the man and be like, hey, you were supposed to come pick up the money at like 10 and no one showed up. And they were like, oh, we'll send someone. So I had to message them to be like, y'all want this money or not? So it wasn't our fault they hadn't picked up. We hadn't paid till 3. But like they sent the bus before they had even a deposit. Yeah. Y'all got it. All right, we'll see you. Yeah. Probably no, they don't we didn't want to get stranded out there. Like, we're gonna pay you because we got to get these women home.
Mhm.
So it was a good experience. Planning it was not incredibly easy. There were some challenges, but everything from our caterer, when we finally found the venue, the things were easy-ish once we found them.
Once we cut out the hard people.
Yes.
Right. Once we got the people who were making things difficult, once we pulled the plug on them, things worked.
Things worked really well.
Mhm.
So we had a good time. The women, I think, loved it. You see them here in the comments. Yes. Okay. Bus drivers are pleasant and fun, Edith says. Yes, they were kind.
Minnie.
Oh, that's Minnie?
Mhm.
Hey.
Yeah.
The drivers were courteous. Yes, they took care of us.
Yes.
They took care of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we, sent them everything we could send them from the winery except for the wine.
Right. Yes.
Except for the wine. So Michaela was a total vibe too. That was our photographer. Yes, she was. She was. So yeah, it was an excellent event. We're very happy. We are unlikely to do that format again. We told you guys.
I saw the comments in here. I'm definitely going next time. I'm definitely going next time, girl. Ain't no next time. Okay.
Surprise. Surprise. I've given the surprise announcement like a bunch of times, but some of y'all
ain't no next time.
Ain't no next time. You didn't hear it before. Surprise. Okay, we may do something in the future that would be more like we all meet in the same place and do what we did in the Facebook group, which was we're all on vacation in the same place at the same time.
Yes.
And if y'all want to have a 50-person reservation to a dinner again, somebody else does it, right? But us planning parts of the event and hiring buses and doing those things, probably not.
No. So make sure that you are active inside of the Facebook group. Make sure that you get the newsletter at exodussummit.com/newsletter. So when we're places and we want to vacation together, you'll know when that is.
Yes.
And when it's coming up.
Yes. So we do want stress-free trips. And so we think that's what we're going to do. We're just going to say like, hey, in 6 months, we're going to be here on these dates and we're staying in this place. Yeah. Which we won't say on camera because we're not going to tell you here where we've got to be in the Facebook group. I'm not telling you we're staying at the hotel we're staying at. Yeah. Stephanie has stalkers.
No, I don't.
No, she doesn't.
No, it's all love. The Exodus Summit community has been so good to us. So it's so wonderful that we get to spend time with everybody or with some of the people.
Yes.
Because everybody's been so awesome. We hardly had to add anybody to the bad girl list. Hardly anybody got added to the bad girl list. I think mostly it was just Anita being re-added. Underlined.
No.
Was Anita underlined on the bad girl list?
Highlighted. She was highlighted. Regina didn't know she was on the bad girl list, but she's on it now. Regina vacations. And Abba stays coming on and off the bad girl list. Abba, I got you honey today from Mauritius.
She did.
In the grocery store.
Oh.
So if it makes it home, it's all for you. So yeah, it was an amazing experience. Very glad we did it. We will do something again in probably 2025. Yeah. Where we get together. Yeah. Stephanie and I have, Abba got me honey from Vietnam. Oh, I told Stephanie today when I was in the grocery store and I saw it, because it's like a special Mauritius made, whatever, that you're my honey buddy and we just exchange honey from all over the world. And she was like, okay. It's so random, but anyhow,
that's very lovely.
Yes,
nobody brought me any vanilla extract.
Did you get a dress?
Oh, I did.
Okay.
Thanks for the dress. Nobody signed it. I don't know.
You don't know who
it was an anonymous dress, so thanks for the anonymous dress. Yes. Okay, so disregard. Disregard the vanilla extract. Disregard.
We were in the grocery store today looking at vanilla extract, and the price tag said $100.
I know. I thought I was at a point in my life where I was no longer looking at the price of vanilla extract, but I was wrong.
She picked it up, and I don't think Stephanie looks at price tags. She picked it up, And I was like, the number right here. Look right here at the number. That's if I do the math real quick in my head, that's $100 for a bottle of vanilla.
It was $100. But I think it was so the bottle we were looking at was maybe
tiny.
3 ounces. I think the price was for an 8 ounce, which was not there.
Right. But we also couldn't see the price on the smaller bottle. We only saw one price, and it was more than $100 for a bottle. We didn't see the price on the smaller bottle. So I was like, I know money isn't real, and we just pay for whatever, and it costs what it costs.
But not
but I was like, maybe let's pause on $100 for vanilla.
Yeah, I'll find some somewhere.
Maybe. Usually expensive, yes, but $100 for a bottle this big.
It was a 3 ounce.
It was like, maybe we pause.
Thank you. You saved my life.
Because I could make you vanilla.
Yeah, right. We could make it. I don't think you need to let it sit for a whole lot of time.
Not that long.
Yeah, we could just make it if we had to.
I had before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so now we have options.
All right, so we're in Mauritius for a little while. We don't have any plans. So if you've been to Mauritius and you have ideas, drop them in the comments because we are just making things up.
We do look amazing. Thank you, Malaysia.
I went outside for a walk today and I came back a completely different color. 8 a.m. I went outside for a walk at 8 a.m. I stayed in the shade. There was a lot of shade. I stayed in the shade as much as possible. I think the sun caught me for like a minute and a half. And I came back my shirt, I was wearing like a low cut, also I shouldn't have done. It's a very Hindu country. I should not have been outside in
tank top.
in a low cut tank top because I was not getting the friendliest looks. Low cut tank top, but it was also crooked. Like one strap was over on the side and one strap was here. My tan on my boobs is doing. Happened? Oh, okay. We might be having internet issues. I don't know.
I think it's my cue to.
It's your cue to get out of here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me come and crash. Hi, friends. So nice to see you guys. I hope your Sunday is going amazing. It's March. Can you believe
Is it? You're just making that up?
I don't really know.
You know, Stephanie thinks money isn't real, and I think time isn't real. So I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Stephanie's gonna say goodbye because she's.
I gotta start the work day.
Working.
Start the work day.
Working.
Do I turn this off?
Nope.
Okay.
Let's take it.
Okay. Bye, friends. Thanks, Rashida. Have a good time.
Thank you. It was Mauritius. It said it was made in Mauritius, the vanilla. So I don't really know, but that's what it said. Okay. Minnie says, take an excursion to Île aux Certes de Baume. Listen, my French does not French. Okay. I saw all kinds of peeps wearing skimpy stuff. The Mauritius peeps don't care. No, okay, so we are not in a tourist region. We're in a tourist apartment zone that is, when I walked today, was very local. And the looks I was getting were two different looks. One was, how dare you? And the other was, I haven't seen a woman in a while. Like, it was very like, the eye open stare, and some were like, mad dogging and like, what's happening? So, you know, I think if we were in like a more of a resorty place, it would have been fine. But where we were, dang. Malira tours. All right. Okay. So, any questions about South Africa before I get back to Zimbabwe? I was in Johannesburg for 2 days and I was sick for one of them. So I didn't even leave a hotel. Got an Airbnb, got it on Thursday night, went to a restaurant. It was in our building, ate 2 bites of food, realized I was sick, went to bed on Thursday evening, did not get out of bed until Saturday morning. And then Saturday morning? No. Thursday evening, stayed in bed on Friday. I don't know time anymore. My mom left on... Stephanie, when did my mom fly? Friday night? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, okay. So Adelia said, it doesn't matter. I was sick. I spent a day. It was a mess. No idea what I was sick from. It lasted about 36 hours from the time where I realized something was wrong to the time I was able to get out of bed. Adelia says she needs Cape Town suggestions for shopping. I did a project. Mary in Panama arranged a jewelry making experience. I got the earrings, the necklace, and I have necklaces and the bracelets from a woman where we made. Adelia, I think you would love this. We crafted bracelets or necklaces, and by a Black woman who is from South Africa, but lived in New York for a while, and she's back in South Africa now. Beautiful woman, beautiful like spirit, you know, whatever. Great experience, loved the whole thing. Also got clothes made, and it may have been my worst shopping experience in my life. It was like exceptionally bad. So I would love to have a tailor recommendation, but a bunch of us went to him and a bunch of us had bad experiences. Like, what is going on? So I don't have shopping suggestions for Cape Town. There's a chocolate store called Honest Chocolate, which everyone went to and loved. This lady is named, I think it's Noma is the name of her company, Noma. Let me try Noma. It's not finding coming up. But I'll drop it in the blog when I drop it. Noma, is this it? No, that's not it. I'll drop it when I drop it. Now, why would I want Nomad Design when I said Noma? Nomi is the name of it. I'm gonna drop her link real quick. Real quick. Beautiful experience. Very glad we did it. Okay. Adelia said she already added the chocolate shop. Adelia, I was gonna bring you back hot chocolate and then I forgot. So you can get it yourself when you're there. I'm so sorry. I also looked in the store today for hot chocolate because I felt bad about not getting it in South Africa. But the stuff I saw in Mauritius was from Belgium. No. The grocery store we went to today was magnificent, but it also took us like a solid 3 hours in the grocery store. No, 2 hours. We ate first. A mess. But like just humans, a lot of humans. Okay. So what else? Zimbabwe. Let me go back to Zimbabwe real quick because I answered the only question. You guys want to know about the tailoring situation? I got a jumpsuit. Janice, friend of the channel, Cape Town sister in life. I've seen her in multiple cities around the world. Janice ordered a jumpsuit from a man who someone she knows had gotten stuff tailored by a man had gotten an outfit from him before. And the suit looked good. She ordered a jumpsuit from him. It came out perfect. Boom, bam, done. So a bunch of us went to him and ordered stuff. 5 fittings to get things right. Because the man took initial measurements, but anytime he needed something altered, he wouldn't measure what needed to be done. And I saw it happen to people in our group, and I saw it happen to people who were not in our group. Like a woman, not me, a different woman came in, had a blazer she wanted made. Had the blazer made, it was too big. Asked him to take it in, it was too small. Same thing happened to me. If I said it's too small, too big, then it would be too small because he would just say like, okay, well, we'll hem it. And I was wearing pants once and I was like, these are too long. He was like, okay, I'll make them shorter. And because this was my 4th fitting, I only got 3 things. One like caftan type dress, which he got wrong 3 times. It's okay. caftan type dress, the jumpsuit, like my friends, which disaster it made, right? Like strangers in the store were like, no, this is not right. You can't let her leave the store. Like, he was like, yeah, it's great. It's great. And the strangers, strange Black women I've never seen before in my life, were like, Miss Ma'am, it's behind me. Like, there was something wrong in the back with the zipper that I can't see because it's behind me. And they were like, no, you can't leave the store like this. He needs to fix X, Y, Z. And I was like, oh, thank you. Because I can't see what's going on. That's how bad it was. The strangers were like, no, make sure he fixes these things before you leave because it's not right. And he was like, yeah. Okay, all of this to say, we are not upset with Janice. I see her hiding her face in the comments. It was not her fault. She got a beautiful outfit the first time. After that, everything else was wrong. Everything else was wrong. Everything else was wrong. And then I got a pair of pants. But it was stuff like, I want straight leg pants. And I come in and they're flared because when I said I want straight leg, he didn't write that down. He just made pants. And I'm like, each leg of the pants is like as wide as the waist, like at the bottom. So I'd have to be like, okay, from the knee, go straight down. The width of the knee goes straight down all the way. And he'd be like, okay, not measuring, not pin, nothing. And I'd be like, okay, make it short. He's like, okay, I'll make it shorter. I said, this needs to be, it's too long and I need it shorter. And he said, okay, I'll shorten it. I picked up on this by this time. This was the 4th fitting out of 5. So I was like, no, before I take these pants off, we need to come to an agreement about how much you're taking off the pants. So please grab a measuring tape, and measure so we can figure out how much you need to take off. Because we would say do something and he would do something that was not what how we go from too large to too small to too, it was bouncing back and forth. My mom ordered a jumpsuit and he made a dress. When I say not taking notes, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we said jumpsuit like 17 times. How are you not? So I literally, the night I got home from that, I had to pack. We got there at 5 a.m. And we left at, 5 p.m. and we left at 9. We had a break. We left for 30 minutes to eat. Other than that, we were with him in the store. No one had more than 3 pieces. Frances only got caftans, and they were all wrong. Like, in one of hers, the pockets were at her knees. What is the point of pockets if I gotta pull the dress up to reach? It's like a bag at this point. It's a purse. It's not a pocket. Another one, one pocket was at her waist. The other one was like at her knee. Like, one pocket was here, one pocket was here. So yes, thank you for the pockets. Everything we got had pockets. Thank you for the pockets. But why? No, he was not hesitant to touch women. He was hands all over. It was not that. Not like handsy, but like there were times where I was like, oh, I wonder if you touch South African women like this. Not that it was a bad thing. I wasn't uncomfortable. But he was not hesitant to touch us. Because he took us to take measurements of our body to do the initial tailoring. But he didn't take measurements to fix the things. We got home after 9. I had to pack because I had to be up at 3 a.m. for a flight. I sat down and ranted in the camera about how bad the experience was. And it was like a 15-minute rant. I can't do nothing with a 15-minute rant. Y'all don't want to see that. You do not want a 15-minute rant in a vlog. But that's how bad the experience was. The man's name is Haji. And I'm saying this because I would not want any of you to experience. I'm not normally like, this is not me trying to like down his business. I'm not about to write a bad review or anything like that. I'm just saying that if you watch this channel, you go to Cape Town, don't be afraid to get clothes made, but don't go to Haji. It was not terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I'm gonna talk about Janice real quick. I'm gonna tell Janice's business real quick. Janice got shorts. First outfit, beautiful. Her shorts, slimmer. One side of his shorts was slimmer than the other. One leg. Okay, whatever. Got that fixed-ish. As she's getting ready to leave, we're looking, and the hem of the shorts is doing this. Literally like one side. So like, it's not like one leg is flat and the other leg is up. It's not, the shorts aren't doing this, or one leg is here and one leg is here, or even here. The entire hem of the shorts is on a diagonal. You can see that. And there was no point where the man was like, I'm not letting you walk out my store with crooked shorts. I'm going to fix them. The man was like, good enough, right? Are we good enough? It's there was no like, this isn't right. I can't, and I have pride in what I do. It was very much, bye. Okay. I said, you would let someone walk out here with your shorts like this? Whole hem. This was not this is someone I think who making custom clothes is not his specialty. Even if he thinks it is, it's not. It's not his specialty. It was, he had ready to wear clothes. I ran into a tour guide that I know from around the way from like seeing him in places. He didn't know me, but I know, you know of someone. And he took his tour there and he said that they go there all the time. And I'm like, and your people are happy? We hadn't had we didn't realize how bad the experience was. It was being there for like 4 hours and not having anything right. Well, let's back up a second. Ordered the clothes on Tuesday, I think it was. And I said, when can we pick them up? And he said, Thursday. And then on Thursday, I got a message that said, you can come in for your fitting at this time. And I was like, I asked when I could pick them up, and you said Thursday. So why are we talking about a fitting on Thursday? And the fact that we had a fitting on Thursday and the clothes still weren't ready to pick up for days later because they still weren't right. He was the actual store owner. He left before we were done and left us with his staff. I think he was tired. I think he's an alteration. This is what we came up with. He makes clothes you can buy off the rack, and he's an alterations person. We did not pay in full up front. I paid a deposit. But I want my deposit. There was one thing he made for my mom that was so bad that I was like, I am not taking this. We are not paying. It was like 9:00, and he was like, I can fix it. And I'm like, it is terrible. You close at 8. It was like 8:30 at this point. You close at 8. It is 8:30, and this is trash. It's garbage. And he even said, like, when we were leaving, because I was like, am I going to get a discount because nothing's right and you wasted all this time with us? And he was like, no, because I can't even, like, I have to get rid of this now. And I'm like, you have a whole store full of clothes that are ready made, and this one thing you made for my mom, there's no rescuing it, because now you're talking about you got to get rid of it. It's wasted. You're saying it's wasted because you can't fix it. If you could fix it, you wouldn't be calling it wasted. It's wasted because it's garbage. All right. Bonomi jewelries are beautiful. And she's a beautiful spirit. So if you see me wearing these a lot, that's why. If he had said, it'll take me I wish he had said in the beginning, it'll take me 2 days to get it ready for fitting and then another day for any alterations. But he was like, no, you can pick it up in 2 days. If I had to leave, at some point he was like, you can just take it with you and get it fixed where you go. And I'm like, that's how you. So I think what really is going on in his business is people from out of town come, because he's close to like hotels and stuff, come, they buy clothes, even if it's custom clothes, they buy clothes, and by the time they realize something's wrong, they don't have time to get it fixed by him. So they do have to take it home and get it fixed. And then there's no one to complain. They weren't going to be repeat customers anyway, because they're from out of town, so he doesn't care. And then he gets a new batch of suckers to come in. And he's just like, because what? I'm not getting a discount? I've been here for 5 hours. What are we doing? What's happening? So now, I don't remember the full name of his business, but Haji, Haji is in it. Don't go there. Not a good experience. Okay. I've ranted. I've given you another 15-minute rant about this. Let's talk about Zimbabwe. I talked about Angel Falls in Zambia. I think that covers Zambia. No, let's do Zimbabwe, then get back to Zambia. Zimbabwe, we did, I'm on day 2. Zambia, we went to Angels Falls in the morning, and then we came back from Zambia. So crossing the border of 2 different border checkpoints in, then out, 2 different border checkpoints, which are really easy if you have the visa you need. You just show it, they stamp it and go. Sometimes really easy in the sense that they don't want a lot from you, but sometimes there was an exit form. Like sometimes leaving Zimbabwe, there was an exit form. Sometimes entering Zimbabwe, there was an entrance form. Sometimes there wasn't. It just depended on the day. So we went back to, after the Angels Fall experience and the waterfall, we went back to Zimbabwe to our hotel, had lunch. I laid down because it was hot. Had lunch. The food at our hotel was really good. The Victoria Falls Hotel, really good food. Then we went, and our hotel picked us up for a helicopter ride. Oh, I saw a question earlier I should address. Let me see if I can find it. Boom, 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 boom. I should have started when it happened. Oh, yes. Did I share how much this trip cost? No, because I have no idea. I have no idea. I will tell you this. The excursions I'm talking about in Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Botswana for 2 people cost $1,500. $1,500. And just an excursion for 2 people. But let me talk about the excursion. So we did that doesn't include the time we walked through the Zimbabwe side of Victoria Falls. That was $50 a piece. But it does include going to Angels Falls, the boat ride, the breakfast, someone holding your ankles while you perilously fall off or like hang off the cliff. I really didn't know it was just a photo moment, but it is. And then later on that day, we rode in a helicopter over the falls, which was really, really beautiful. And that was included in that amount. When I say included in that amount, I mean, we paid at our hotel they booked our excursions for us. Would it have been cheaper if we went directly? I don't think so, because we looked for things and the prices were all around the same. So I think whatever. And there's only one helicopter vendor that we could find. There may have been another one, we just didn't see it. There's only one vendor that we could see that went to Angels Falls, right? Or Angels Pool. And so you're limited. It's just different people selling the same ticket under different names. Or like as like a subcontractor or like a vendor for the tickets. Any hoodle. So we rode in a helicopter for about 12 minutes. 12-minute ride? No, we did the 20. Did we do a longer ride? Basically, the helicopter ride works out to about $10 a minute. And there's a $12 choice and there's a $22 choice. We did the 22-minute choice. So we did the 22-minute choice. So it was over $200 per person for a 20-minute ride. But my mama was booking. I was paying, but she was booking. My mama gets what my mama wants, apparently. My mama is in Dubai right now. She sent me a photo from a gold souk, and I was like, is she about to run up some money? Mind my business. What my mama does in the gold souk in Dubai is not my business because I'm not there. Anyhow, so helicopter ride, 20 minutes, gorgeous. I got great footage, beautiful. You don't feel the water, right? The water's not in. I liked the helicopter. I think the helicopter may have been my best experience of it, except that you don't feel like that water on you like you do on both sides of the falls when you're on the ground. But the helicopter was really, 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 really exceptional. So that was good. And then later on that evening, we took a cruise, a dinner cruise, which was nice, down the river. We left the dock and we were like maybe a minute away from the dock before there was an elephant on the shore just staring at us. So the boat made its way over, steam, whatever engine they use, steam engine, coal, electricity. I don't know how the boat worked. I don't know what powered it. But anyhow, we powered over to the elephant, and the elephant was like, now y'all supposed to be eating and I'm eating. So why don't y'all mind y'all plate while I mind mine? And went back to eating, and every once in a while would look at us again like, y'all still here? What are you doing? I'm minding my business, eating my dinner, and y'all could be doing the same thing. Anyhow, it was good. It was drinks. There was a group from Turkey there. You know, if you're on a tour, and so there's two of us, and there were a couple other small groups. And the group from Turkey was like 20 people, and there may have been 30. There may have been 30 people total on the boat, and 20 of them were from Turkey, which just kind of overwhelms. If there's one large group, it kind of overwhelms everything else. It kind of overwhelmed everything else. Like they started singing songs in Turkish at one point. Baby, I'm on this river trying to get zen with Mother Nature and see some animals, and y'all out here like 7 deep in the corner singing songs. Ooh, okay. Other than that, it was good. The food was meh. All right. Come to find out, my mama got food poisoning that night. Like, terribly bad. The worst. Whatever you're imagining, worse. Food poisoning that night. She didn't eat again, I think, for 4 days. It was not great. Other than that, I'd really recommend the dinner cruise. The dinner cruise was amazing, except for the food poisoning. Amazing, except for a little bit of everything. So that was day 2-ish in Zimbabwe, I think. We were in Zambia and Zimbabwe. The next day, I'm losing track of days. But there were like 3 main activity days. So the third activity day, we went to Chobe National Park, which is in Botswana. Botswana was like a 2-hour drive, an hour to the border, and then maybe an hour to the park, maybe less. And we got up in the morning. Mom was like, I can't go. And I was like, but let's see. It was like 6 a.m. Then I was like, we don't have to leave till 7:30. Let's see if you can rally, or 8. I don't know what time we left. 7:30. I was like, let's see if you can rally by 7:30. If you can't go, you can't go. But let's see. You already paid for it. I already paid for it. So see if you can go. She rallied. She was like, I can go, whatever. She took all the meds you can take for things after they happen, right? We go to Chobe, hour in the car. She's fine. They booked every possible seat they could have booked in that van. We're there, whatever. We get to Botswana. There's the first part of it is a river cruise, like the one we did the night before. There are more animals because we're in a national park. I haven't mentioned this yet. We saw hippos, elephants, I saw my first monitor lizard. Some other stuff that I'm not remembering right now. Buffalo, which are one of the big 5 animals that you want to see in the parks and the reserves in South Africa. But for most of the trip, she's got her head down on the table. It's like there's a bunch of tables. She's got her head down on the table. And then she'd be like, let me know when there's an animal. Let me know when there's something to see. Just head down. She's not doing well. So we get back. I'm really enjoying this. I feel bad that she's having a bad time, but I am having an amazing time. Look over there, the elephant's saying hi to me. Yes, okay. The hippos are playing. Everything's happening. Right. She's secretly dying. We get back from the thing, and she says, I wish I could go home now. Crap. Because we still have driving safari in the afternoon because it's a full day experience. So I'm like, okay, let me go see if I can get her to go home, get like a way to get her home because it's a 2-hour drive. So I go to the tour guide that came in with us and I was like, hey, is there a tour guide? Is there anyone going home early that can take her home? I didn't know he was a subcontractor at the time. I didn't find out until the afternoon. He was like, I don't know, talk to the company. So I they had an office there. The tour company had an office in the hotel. A hotel is our base. I go to the office. I ask them, is there anyone going home? And they're like, we got to check with the hotel. I don't know if they're separate companies at the same time at this point. So I was like, okay. So they check with the hotel. No one's going home. My mom is now laid out on an outdoor bench with a cushion kind of thing. So it's not like a couch with like ends, but it's like an outdoor seating thing. She is sprawled. She's got her purse where anyone could just come walk by it. I brought her water. She's not drunk anything or eaten anything since the night before, and it's like noon now. Has not gotten anything in her, anything that was in her body has left. And has not put not a drink of it. I got her to drink on the boat like this much Sprite, hoping it would be better. She didn't drink it. I brought her peppermint tea. I had them make peppermint tea at the hotel from fresh peppermint. When I tell you the service at the Victoria Falls Hotel was good, I would ask for a peppermint tea and they're like, okay, we'll go pick some. But we have to go pick the peppermint. They'd be like, well, we'll be right back. Yes, they went and picked the peppermint because they grew some on thingy. They brought me fresh peppermint tea for her. And even as a Jamaican, y'all know, my Jamaicans in the audience, that's what I'm drinking now, peppermint tea. She was like, I can't drink it. I can't drink it. She couldn't drink anything. Okay. She's passed up. She's on this bench. She's a mess. So I go to the hotel. I go to the staff because I don't realize the hotel. I go to the tour staff. I don't realize the tour office and the hotel are related, but not the same. Like there's a division, but they work together. So I go to them and I was like, hey, if you can't get her home, she doesn't want to go to the driving tour part of the afternoon. So can I put her in a hotel room? Just tell me what it costs. Just put her in a hotel room so that when I go out on this tour, I'm not worried about mama laying out on the bench somewhere in public. And they were like, oh, yeah, when this happens, if there's a room available, we'll just put you in a room. There's no charge. We'll just take care of it. And I was like, okay, hospitality. Okay. So all this time I need to eat lunch because the afternoon tour is starting. So I go eat for like 10 minutes. I go back and check on my mom. Then I go eat or something else. I go check on my mom. I go eat a little bit, go check on my mom. So I realized they're looking for a room for her. So I go eat a little bit, come back, check on my mom. And also stranger ladies talking to her. I go over like, hi. It's Crystal? No, some other name. We're going to call her Crystal, though, because, I met a Crystal on this trip that I liked. So, whatever. So, yes, hospitality. Crystal is in guest relations at this lodge that we're at. She works for hotel staff. Before we were talking to the tour company staff. Now we're talking to the hotel staff. Crystal's in guest relations. And Crystal was like, hey, I was telling her that when we have a guest who's not feeling well, now, mind you, my mom was not a hotel guest. She's on a tour for a tour company. But Crystal says, when we have a guest that's not feeling well, we call the medics. And so I'm wondering if she wants us to call the medics. And my mom was doing the like, no, I'm okay. And I'm like, I cannot get you to get food in your belly. It's 90 something degrees and you can't stand up. Like, I was like, Crystal, if you normally call the medics, let's call the medics. Let's do it. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking through like getting the paramedics here. And then I'm still going on my tour. Unless the medics are like, we got to take her to the hospital. Which was a block away. I didn't realize at the time. I'm still going to go see the animals. There are lions waiting for me. So is she dying? No? All right. Like, take care of her. You're going to put her in a room too? Okay. So I was like, all right, Crystal, call the medics. Let's make it happen. I was like, but let me know in advance, since you say it's what you normally do, what is it on average? What does it normally cost? Crystal looked at me like I was crazy. And she was like, no, like we pay for that. Yeah. Wait a minute. She's not even paying to stay in this hotel, but you're going to give her a free hotel room and pay for the paramedic visit? Paramedics were there 10 minutes later. They were taking care of her. I left them there with her in the room. They had her drink. So she didn't want to drink or eat anything because she felt like if she added more fluids to her body, stuff would start coming out again. And they were like, no, that's not going to happen. And so they gave her some kind of liquid, like a concentrated rehydrator kind of thing. And apparently after I left, the lions were waiting for me. And so they didn't have IVs. They said they couldn't do that, but they gave her something. And so after I left, they gave her some meds and they gave her a little bit of liquid to rehydrate her. She said 30 minutes after she drank that, she was throwing up in the toilet. Just immediately like, hold up, I got to go. And there was male and female paramedics. And the female paramedic came in the bathroom with her and was like, oh, you sick for real? Like, oh, girl, like we knew you were sick, but like not sick. Like, we didn't realize how bad it was. But after she threw up, apparently she started feeling better. So she was able to get some sleep because she hadn't slept. She'd been up all night experiencing food poisoning. And so the next day, so later on that day, after I left, she slept in the hotel room. It was nice. It was a nice room. It was quiet. Because the hotel staff had brought her some food and she was like, I can't eat anything. And then before the medics came, took care of her. When I saw her again, it was so much better. She was so much better than when I left her because she had thrown up that last little bit of nastiness. She was able to drink a whole bunch of water afterwards because I said she hadn't eaten or drank anything all day long and it was hot. So when I saw her later on that afternoon, right before we went to the border, she drank on her fourth bottle of water. So big improvement after she threw up that last time with the paramedics who were like, oh, we thought you were just playing. It wasn't like they thought you were just playing games, but they were like, we had no idea it was this bad because you should not be throwing up still. And, so yeah, it was interesting. The whole oh no, we'll call the paramedics and pay for it. I was like, really? I'm not used to this. I am accepting this, but I'm not used to this. Mama was like, no, you know how I think as Americans, I have a theory that we're less likely to seek medical care than other people. A lot of times I go to a doctor and they're like, why did it take you so long? And I'm like, especially in Mexico, why did it take you so long to get here? And I'm like, because in America, going to a doctor is it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm used to seeking medical care being a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money. And I'm not used to working in worlds where it's not, where they're like, we just call the paramedics and they come. If you don't pay anything, we'll take care of it. And it couldn't have been that much, right? It couldn't have cost that much for the paramedics to come, for the hotel to be like, no, girl, don't worry about that. You're not even officially a guest. You haven't paid to stay here, but we'll still pay for your paramedics to come. okay. I was like, I like this. I like this. Anyhow, she was doing much better. They told me when I went on the tour in the afternoon that we weren't going to go back to the lodge. But when I was like, I'm leaving her here, so I have to come back to get her. They're like, yes, now we've changed plans. We'll come back to the lodge. On our way back from the driving safari, which was amazing, loved it. On our way back, I realized we're driving. We have passed the lodge. I haven't seen it with my eyes, but I know distance-wise, that's not what's happening. So I tapped the tour guide in front of me, who taps the tour guide in front of him, to be like, where my mama at? Like, y'all promised me my mama, and we're not headed to my mama. And they were like, oh, don't worry about it. She's meeting us up here. So they organized it. So she was waiting in an air-conditioned van. We picked her up on the side of the road, dropped that van, took someone else to Zambia, and all of us going to Zimbabwe went together to the border. And I was like, y'all coordinated all of this for no extra money, no nothing, just, yeah, we done. Hospitality, loved it. On my afternoon tour, there was a woman there. There was our tour guide in the morning gave a Spanish explanation for everything, which was very complete, and then gave English later. And I realized the English wasn't always as complete as the Spanish. I'm not tripping, because I think I picked up what you were talking about in the Spanish. We talked about all kinds of stuff I didn't know I could understand, but I did. I got it. Context helps. We're talking about a safari, right? Like, I'll figure it out. Or like we're talking about Botswana. Okay, I was like, this is nice. Because I'm working on my Spanish, living in Mexico. So there's a woman there from Spain. So I told her, I live in Mexico. We talked about in Spanish. And then she was like, when I go on these trips, this is very, very broken English. When I go on these trips, I want to practice my English, but no one will let me practice my English. They all want to speak to me in Spanish. And I was like, all right, I heard you. Like, I'm speaking to you in English from now on. My bad, sis. I was like, I'm sorry. And she wasn't like offended. She was just like, I really want to speak in English. Cool. No more Spanish, unless it's by accident. So that afternoon, when I'm in my mom's room, we're supposed to be leaving at like 1:30. At 1:21, the office is like a 90-second walk. At 1:21, I walk out so that I'm not late. I'm not holding anybody up. I'm here early. The tour lady's coming to get me because everyone's in the van. So even though they said 1:30, they were ready to go at 1:20, and I was now holding people up. So I come to the van, and there was a group of people that were a little annoying. Use your imagination. Yeah, you're right. Okay. And I was like, and then there was a group of people who were all Spanish speakers. There was another guy who joined the couple. So there were 3 Spanish speakers and the annoying people. And the annoying people were all in one car, and the Spanish people were all in one car. And I was like, okay, get ready to be alone with the annoying people. And the tour guide was like, nah, you go in there. And I am pointing to the Spanish speaking car, game truck thing. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? She was like, you going with them? And I was like, okay. So my safari tour was completely in Spanish. Completely, ain't no English. The contractor that I mentioned earlier was contracted to give Spanish tours. So when we were on the bus and it was Spanish speakers and English speakers, he was hired for the Spanish speakers. So he gave his Spanish speakers his all and gave us English people what was left. On the game safari later that afternoon, when it was just us Spanish speakers together, it was all Spanish the entire time. And like, if I didn't understand something, I could ask him. And there were 2 Spanish speakers, who were both from Zimbabwe, fluent, amazing Spanish, but slow. Not like Mexican Spanish, where like that sentence sounded like one long word. I'm so sorry. What are we talking about? What was that? But like, it was slow enough for me to catch what was going on, which was really helpful. But they both lived in Cuba. One studied mathematics. I don't know what the other one did. Lived in Cuba for years. And so they learned Spanish there. And now they work as tour guides who do Spanish stuff, who give tours in Spanish. Any hoodle. My entire tour was in Spanish. If I had a question, like there was some, every once in a while there was an animal I don't know, what is that? What are we talking about? But the rest of it, I got. I was very impressed with me because it was a 2-hour safari or more. We got back at 4, left at 1:30, 2.5 hours. And I got it. 2.5 hours of Spanish. Now at the end, I stopped listening because I've seen every animal and I'm tired and my brain hurts and I've been out in the sun. Even if you were speaking English, I probably would have stopped listening too. But like, I'm not putting in the extra effort to like translate that. But I was so proud of myself. 2.5 hours of Spanish and I understood it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Your girl got it. Picked up our mama. Good, good, good. Tour guide was great. Spanish tour was amazing. The Spanish people were really, really kind and good. One was from Monterey. The man was from Monterey. His wife couldn't come because she was also sick. I think he said food poisoning as well. Now on the way, a little scoopy scoop. On the way to Botswana, in Spanish, I understood it first in Spanish. He said, contracted tour guide said that back in the maybe 20 years ago, these numbers may not be right because this is my memory of the numbers he said, and he didn't sound like he was exactly positive of all the numbers. But years ago, about 50% of Botswana's population had HIV. It was really, really bad. And it was before everyone had access, before there was a widespread access to antiretrovirals, which I got in Spanish. I was like, yes, I did not know. I mean, it sounds just like you would expect it to sound. All right, Angela. Angela Rochelle's congratulating me on my Spanish. Angela's one of my Duolingo buddies. If you're on Duolingo, I'm on Duolingo. Hey. Any hoodle. We can be buddies too. He's talking about a large percentage. I think he said 50% of the population of Botswana having HIV. And he was like, you could see it because they didn't have access to the antiretrovirals. So you could see all the symptoms. You could see somebody and just know, like, it was a lot of people. I remember he said that in the day. And then when we went to the hotel, she's in the room. I went to the bathroom and it was like soap, vanity kit, a couple other things, a full basket, maybe a basket with like 6 different tiny boxes. And one of the tiny boxes was condoms. And I was like, I don't think I've ever been in a hotel room and been like, and here's the box of free condoms. And then I was like, oh yes, he said HIV. I remember seeing like a sign on the side of the road that was like clearly old. It was faded. And it was about like putting a condom on, but I'm pretty sure the picture was like a condom over banana. It was like a drawing, I think, because, but yes, they're trying to encourage people to have safe sex, and having a box of 4 free condoms in the bathroom was, I was impressed. Okay. Way to address your population's needs. Thank you, Botswana. I was very, very impressed. Yeah. Now, home after that, and then we left the next morning. So that was Chobe National Park. It was a cruise down Chobe River, and then lunch at this lodge. I don't want to give you the name of the lodge because I'm going to get it wrong, but in the vlog it will be there. And then the game drive, which was really nice. They were kind. They explained everything. I really loved being a Spanish-speaking man because the annoying people weren't with us. So it was good. It was good. And then the next day we flew back to Joburg. And then a day and a half later, our mom went to Dubai, where she's now chilling on her Stopover. We're going to talk about stopovers in a minute. And then I came here the day after her to Mauritius, which is going very well. Mauritius is going very, very well. All right. Now, I think I've talked about stopover programs on this channel before. Stopover programs are kind of awesome. A lot of countries have national airlines, right? Like the UAE has Emirates airline, right? And Turkey has Turkish Airlines. And countries that have national airlines typically have a stopover program in the hubs in the country. So like for the UAE, it's Dubai. In Turkey, it's Istanbul, where you can stay on like a subsidized trip in the city. So she's in Dubai in a hotel that is much nicer than what she paid for. And she's getting tours that are the price is significantly lower than it would normally be, just because she booked a stopover program. So usually it's like a couple days. I think she's there for 4 days. I don't remember exactly. A couple days in a city. So if you're flying an airline, like Portugal, TAP Airlines has a layover, I think, in a stopover program in Lisbon as well, where you can like, if you got to go to their website and see what their requirements are. I don't know them. I haven't turned off those things yet. I always forget until I'm here. So they always look into a stopover program if you're flying an airline that's associated with a country. The U.S. airlines aren't going to do that because they don't care about you. But if it's like a national one, like I don't know if Ethiopian Airlines, like I don't know which other airlines have them, but always check. So if it's like Virgin Atlantic would not have one because it's not like English Air, right? But if there was an airline like English Air, like maybe that would have one. I don't know how to tell what, like it's the ones that are associated with the actual government. Anyhow, it's really helpful. I suggest it, which is why I'm mentioning it now. My mom went to Doha last year because she flew on Qatar Airways, and Copa has one too. And Copa is out of, where's Copa based? Is that Panama? Is Copa based in Panama? Lots of airlines have them. Not Americans though, because American Airlines don't care about you. That was not about American Airlines, of course. That was about American Airlines as a concept, not an actual brand. Panama, yeah. Copa Airlines has a stopover program in Panama. Thank you, Lauren. Good thing to check out. What else? Something I just thought of. Air Senegal has one? Okay. There was something I wanted to tell you. Mauritius. I got to the airport in Mauritius. I stepped out of the airport and I was like, this might could be it. This might could be it for me. I think I'm currently of the opinion that the Indian Ocean was made for me. I'm not saying just me, but specifically me. Maybe some other people too, but they are not my business. Me and the Indian Ocean, we go together. I just stepped out and it was like warm, but not like ridiculously hot, right? A little cool breeze. The water it just feels good. It just feels good. So now I have to figure out where in Indian Ocean land I can live. I like it. I really like it here. I also forgot. So Mauritius has a lot of people who look like some people from Africa and some people from India got together a long time ago, and they've been getting together ever since, right? Like the black and you can see the black and you can see the Indian. You can see the African, you can see the Indian. You see it all in one person, in every face. You see it in every face. And especially the men's with the dark skin, with the black and the Indian. I like it. I do. I was here like, oh, I forgot. I forgot what this looks like. Okay. Hi. Hi. I like it. Yes, I thought about Seychelles, but Seychelles, like I want to be in the Indian Ocean, but I don't want it to be remote. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it is what it is. I was not worried, but I was thinking like we went to grocery shopping when we stopped at a side of the road store to get snacks on the way here. It was like what you get on the side of the road in like a Caribbean island, where like there are some snacks, you don't know when they were put on the shelf, possibly a little dusty. You know, brands you've never heard of before, snacks you've never heard of. There were a lot of meat flavored chips. You know, it's a dark store. They got the tinned milk and the powdered milk and a couple of, you know, some limes, you know, when they got there, some homemade foods at the counter, some homemade snacks at the counter. You know, if you've been to a side of the road store in the Caribbean, you know what I'm talking about. So I was like, okay, all right. So today we went to the grocery store. I wasn't holding out high hopes. It was better than some of the grocery stores in Mexico City. I was like, what are these? Now, mind you, a lot of people here are French. I don't know what the French did here. They probably, you know, killed some people and grew something, you know, how they normally do. But there's a strong French hold here. And so the grocery store I think we went to, it's called You Save. Save You Save, I think You Save, something like that. A lot of the brands were French, but like, it was nice. It was nice. A huge store. Lots of different types of brands, things that we were like, okay. Hold on, let me go grab something real quick. Oh, I can get up. Hold on. Oh, it's not what I want. Where's the other one? The other one's too far away for me to get it now. Okay. So snacks from the... All right. This is a snack comparison from the grocery store and the side of the road. I was hungry, so I was like, no, we need to stop. Okay. Snacks from the side of the road were like banana chips. And I found a bag of Lay's hidden in the back. I got 2 bags of banana chips. I ate one yesterday. It wasn't bad. And like salted peanuts. Because y'all know I don't eat any gluten. So like I'm really limited on what I can eat. At the grocery store today, purple sweet potato with pani puri masala spices. I also got, it's in the other room, dried, same brand, which is, to be honest, Crunchies. Dried jackfruit with chili mango spices. Sorry, what? Dried jackfruit with chili mango spices? Okay. So yes, this is like the difference between the side of the road and the grocery store. So when I was saying I was finding things that I was like, I expected it to be like a grocery store or like a small island. White truffle hand-cooked potato chips. I was like, fancy Pringle me, please. Fancy Pringle me. They're really good. I had them earlier. The first bag of chips I picked up was this Naturals rosemary flavored chips. Sure, let's try it. Like I said, in the grocery store, it was a lot of like chicken curry flavored chips, not in the grocery store, in the side of the road store. Lots of like meat flavored chips, like, you know, like chicken curry, this and that. And I was like, oh no. Although this, it's not. I saw what you said. It looks empty. It's not empty. It's pretty full. I opened one of these earlier today. This pani puri masala, I didn't realize the chips are pretty thick in here. The purple sweet potato chips are pretty thick, but this masala spicy gives it a meat hint that I was not expecting. So it is a little meaty. The thickness for the chip and the masala spices give it a little meat. It doesn't taste like meat. It just tastes like the spices that you would find on meats. So it was good. It was good. All right. I'd have to check out the Kenyan coast. That might be it. I was very impressed with the grocery store. I'm not impressed with the, like, I think we really need to rent a car. There's taxis here. We have a taxi driver who's taking us everywhere we want to go. But like today to the grocery store and back round trip was $30, which is not a terrible price, but we can't walk to anything from where we are. So either we call him every time we want to go somewhere, which, or we get a rental car. The latest a rental car would be cheaper than hiring a taxi. So we do that. Our host had food waiting for us today, last night when we got in. Because she was like, I was worried about you guys because I knew you'd be getting in after 7 and everything would be closed. You wouldn't be able to get food. So there's food in the fridge. Like a rice and like a chicken curry and lentils and vegetables. I think she was here. She was like, let me show you how to work the whole house. Instead of the keypad outside, instead of being like, there's a keypad, this is the code, see you later. She was here, she showed us how to do everything, and she was like, and here's the food. Because she's like, there's nothing open right now. So, and then she was like, and the grocery store closes at noon, which it didn't. It closed at 3, and we got out of there at like 2. Because she knew it closed early. I don't think she goes to the grocery store. Not that grocery. She goes to a different grocery store. So maybe the one she was talking about did close early. But yeah, she's like, we need to call the driver early because the grocery store will close early Sunday. Friday is a national holiday, so everything's closed here. There's a pilgrimage that people who are Hindu take part in, and our driver today told us people come from India and from South Africa to Mauritius to do the pilgrimage here. I don't really understand why they come from other countries. I don't know why this I often understand why a specific pilgrimage is important, right? When I asked about the importance, he was like, this is the 13th oldest or 13th largest, I don't remember. I think he said largest Hindu temple in the world. And I was like, 13th largest doesn't seem like a reason to leave your home country to come here to pilgrimage. Like, I think there's something lost in translation. Anyhow, people walk to the temple carrying something called a karwar. I'm not pronouncing that the way they pronounce it. They speak French here. They speak French and Creole, mostly Creole, which sounds a lot like French. But your girl doesn't speak any French. I speak bonjour. And that's about it. I'm looking to see if I can find a picture, but I took up one yesterday. That's not it. Okay, I'm going to pause this here. Okay, it's very hard to see, but they're carrying like a big snake, and they do a pilgrimage, and they carry things that look like this, or like decorated in lights. Some of them actually are on wheels, and they carry this where they go to the temple, and then they pray at the temple. I'm I've been getting conflicting information about like when this happened. A lot of the information has been unclear about what actually happens and why it happens, but there's something going on and we want to see it. So yeah, so the people on the side of the road, apparently they walk at night, and I was like, explain to me how walking at night is safer than walking in the day. And they're like, oh, they have police escorts. So at night, they go on roads and police escort them, and they carry these car wars to the temple, and then they pray there. And then the holiday is Friday, but I talked to a lady in the grocery store today, and she was like, oh, I went last week. Or like maybe this last Friday that just happened. She's like, I'm not going there again. It's too busy. I did my thing. Like, I ain't going back. She was like, I'm done. Because I was like, I want information, but I don't want to be like, hey girl, tell me about this Hindu thing, in case she wasn't Hindu. She was. Apparently 50% of the island is Hindu, according to our driver. So it's, a Hindu celebration is a national holiday. So yeah. We're gonna do that. Very suggested going on a tea tour. A tour of a tea company, and they're going to do a we want to have a day on a boat, a day on the water. So that's our plan so far. No real plans. It was good. Twas good. Minnie wants to know the name of I think you want to know the name of the tour company and the one in and the lodge in Chobe. I don't know off the top of my head. Like I said, my mama arranged it and I just paid for it. I'm just big money on these trips. Literally, like, I don't know. I have photos. I can get that information to you. If you message me, I can send it to you, but I don't. And it will be in the vlog when I finally do the vlog, because I was making notes of everything, but no. I might have a tour company's name because I started making notes while I was on the tour. I do. We booked the tour of Chobe through our hotel, but the actual tour company we went with was African Odyssey. And the place, our middle ground, they weren't involved in the booking or the payment, so you don't really need to know this information. But the name of the lodge where my mama got all the help she needed was Chobe Marina Lodge. I made notes. Okay. The river cruise where our mom got food poisoning was called Wild Horizons. Beautiful time, excellent experience, except for spewage. I will say, my mom and I didn't eat anything that was the same. When I got back from the tour, it was like you burp and a little extra something, a little extra gift comes up as well. That was happening to me. Frequently at nights, just to make sure I sleep through the night, I'll take a little, a little Tylenol PM, a little Advil PM. Not all the time, but occasionally. Especially if like my sleep is off, like I'm going to bed later than a different time. It might be hard for me to fall asleep if I'm going to bed early or whatever. That night I thought about it, I think because I may have had a headache, and I did not take it that night because I did not think my stomach could handle drugs. And I did not experience what she experienced. We did not eat any of the same things. And I was still like a little. So I don't know if I asked someone to see if it was the meat. We didn't eat any of the same meat. So I was wondering if it was like the ice in our drinks or whatever. We didn't eat anything. We didn't drink anything the same. We didn't eat anything the same. We didn't share food either. So the fact that I got the gift burps, y'all know what I'm talking about. Wasn't expecting that. And she was actually like laid out by food poisoning. I'm thinking it may have been like ice. Otherwise, I don't know what that would have been. Chobe Marina Lodge looks heavenly. It was really nice. It was really nice. And the people were really wonderful, really, really kind. You paying for The lady walked over to my mama and she was like, I'm trying to get her to let me call the paramedics. Like I wasn't like I asked for it. She showed up. Guest relations showed up like, girl, you can't die here. So let's get you some help. Let's get you what you need. Will you let me call the paramedics? My mama out here talking about, no, I don't need that. No, no, I don't need that. But Miss Guest Relations was a black lady, so she was like, so you're just gonna sit here in pain. Did she have any salad or raw produce? I don't think there was any salad that night, but I don't remember. I'll probably take a photo of all the food. Let me tell y'all. And then I'm gonna get out of here because I've already been talking to y'all for 2 hours. Who knew? Who knew-st? Oh no, I took a bunch of photos in the end of that day, so I don't know if I'm gonna have. There's a lot of animal photos. Like my elephant. Let me see if I can see what was in the food. Here we go. I don't think there was any salad. I don't think there was any raw. She had a tiny salad. She ordered for appetizer, smoked salmon. And it was like one little piece of smoked salmon over like a fistful of tuna salad. When it says on the menu smoked salmon, why is there just like this much smoked salmon and this much tuna salad? So we weren't sure if it was the tuna salad, but now that I'm looking at the plate, the tuna salad was right next to like a little blob of fresh veggies. So yeah, that might have been it. I don't know what it was. Like I said, it was amazing experience. Loved it all until it came back up. So yeah, no idea. Anyway, y'all, thank you for hanging out with me. The hair I got done in Cape Town because I saw a woman online who everyone was like, she's the best, she's great, she's great, she's great, she's great. Booked with her. I told y'all I wasn't sure if she was going to show up. I was sure I was going to have an appointment. She, in fact, did not show up. She showed up 3 hours after my appointment was scheduled to start. And to do someone else's hair. But I showed up. She tried to get me to show up at 8, and I was like, I had to return the rental car that we had. And the place opened at 8. So I was like, I can't do that, but I can come at 9. I get there at 9, ask for her, and the ladies are like, she's not here. But they're like, but come on. So I go, someone washes my hair and blow dries it. Another woman starts braiding it. So by the time that lady shows up, my hair is close to done. Not done. But yeah, I heard she's great. Her parts are impeccable. She's great at braiding, blah, blah, blah. Her braids look so good. Woo, woo, woo. She didn't even touch my head. I booked with you because I heard you were good and you. So yes, I told you guys I wasn't sure whether I had an appointment. I'm still not sure whether I had an appointment because when I showed up, the ladies were like, it wasn't even like they were like, come, she's not here. They were like, yeah, come here. You're looking for so-and-so? Come this way. I was like, are you so-and-so? And they're like, no. Just braid it. But I liked it. The parts were good, like they said. This is braids with like that goddess hair. I like the short. I've never had short braids like this before. I like it. It doesn't really pop on this black, but I like it. I've washed it because of the way this hair is. If you've ever had these braids before, let me see. If you've ever had these braids before, the way they braid them in, that's not going to work there. Let's see. You can just pull this hair out, which I have done accidentally a bunch of times. Maybe all the ones that are easy to pull out have already come out. I'll just be running my hair through it, and then see how it's coming out. You can just pull it out because they just braid it in. They just get a piece and they braid it in, but they don't seal it any other way, so you can just easily just comes out in your hand. But it took the lady like 6 hours. I don't think it should have taken her that long. It took her like 6 hours, one person doing it. And I think the charge was for the hair pre-tip was about $55. Not terrible, like, okay. I would have paid a lot more for that in the US or in Mexico. So I liked it. I would get this style again. It's very light. I'm at the age now where I need light hair. I don't need nothing pulling on my edges. Oh, and I said I want it braided loose. I don't want you to braid so tight. I was like, I want it loose. It was loose. The night I got it done, I took some Advil PM because I had a headache that night. I was fine when she was doing it. Later on that night, I had a headache. By the next morning, there was no pain, no discomfort. It moves easily. She did a great job. But yeah, 6 hours. I also have a lot of hair. So braiding my hair, there's a lot of like parting to do. It tricks people. People, you normally think you're like done when you get to the section here. According to one of my hairdressers, I have a lot more hair here than most humans. There's a lot of hair right here. So when you get to this part and you think you're almost done, it's like half my head is still there. So that takes a little while. So it took her some time. And like I said, normally they have like a couple people working on your head. It was just one girl who was not the girl I was supposed to be, doing it. So I wouldn't, and then a couple other women went to her, I think. One of them did not like the experience and wouldn't go back. So I'm not going to recommend this hairdresser. So I'm not even going to mention her name. I'm not going to recommend, not that she did a bad job, because the woman whose hair I saw her doing looked lovely. But like, I feel like a hairdresser is the kind of, what I saw online wasn't come to this salon, they do good work. It was come to this woman, she does good work. But she trimmed my end. She trimmed this, trimmed it. That was all. That's the only time she touched my head, was to trim it. If I recommend a braider, I want that braider to do my hair. And because she didn't do my hair, I wouldn't recommend her. Not that it was bad experience, but like, who is this? Who is this new girl? Can she braid? Not everybody's a good braider, right? You see braids sometimes, and you can tell the person who did the braids wasn't that good. I don't know if you would get that experience from someone who's like I don't know if you would end up with possibly a new braider, because the main woman shows up when she wants to. So yes, I wouldn't recommend her. Not because she did a bad job, not because I was unhappy with my experience, but because I don't know what your experience would be. All right, I think that's it for the day. I will have more on Mauritius in the future. I have 4 vlogs that I have started uploading content to just for this trip so far. One is 5 hours long, has 5 hours, almost 6 hours of content. One is 5.5 hours of content. And 2 are like 2 hours or 1 hour. 2 are 2 hours or 1 hour, but I don't have all the content in them yet. So, the vlogs are coming, but when's am I gonna get from 5 hours to like 20 minutes? How's that gonna happen? I don't know. I don't know when you're gonna see it, but it's out there, and I'll have all the details, all the vendors. I will have what things cost, because right now I don't know. Like I said, the only thing I know is that the Victoria Falls Hotel was not worth the price. And the excursions I just mentioned, the Chobe Day, the helicopter, and the riverboat tour for 2 of us were $1,500. None of those experiences were cheap. So with all the numbers I have for you right now. All right, friends. I will see you on the motivation. I see your questions about the Gambia, and I've heard about what happened about some foreign Black women getting killed there, but I don't know enough about it to speak intelligently, so I won't. No insight at all. I'm reading the same thing you're reading. All right, friends, I will talk to you on the next time from another island. No, next time you see me, I will be in Johannesburg, which I thought was going to be my second home, but it's not really feeling, I was sick, so it's not really fair to say that, but maybe next time it'll feel more like home. And then week after that, I'll be back in Mexico City. I'm getting close to the end. I'm 2 weeks away from the end. 12 more days, and then I go home for 2 weeks, and then I go out again. All right, y'all. I hope you're having a great day. It's 10 o'clock here, so I should be asleep. My go-to-bed alarm went off 2 hours ago at 8:14. It's 10:14 now. So Cutie Pie will be in Mexico City in 2 weeks. I might be there. Hit me up. I will see you guys next week. If you're in the YouTube membership, thanks for your patience. Y'all know I haven't really been around. If you're in from Burnout to Bliss, our next coaching session is when I get back in 2 weeks. If you're not in from Burnout to Bliss yet, and you want to be because you want to move abroad, take a career break, from burnoutobliss.co. Let's get it. I always say that, like, I'm currently living a life that I couldn't imagine before, and I want you to know how real that is. Like, I did not know that this life was even possible for me. And so if you feel like this life isn't possible for you, know that that's just a step. That's just thinking that this is impossible. What I'm talking about right now is impossible, is just a step on your way there, because it was a step for me too, right? But like, you've got to take the steps. You've got to take the steps. So even if you cannot see your way there, if you can't see your path, but you can see your destination, you're on your way. Just keep your eye on that destination, right? You'll get there. Love you guys. See you in a week from burnoutobliss.co. If you want this life, balloons again. Bye.